All right, yo, I wanted to go over the expenses of this little project that we had going on. We have 100 ritual scarabs of selectiveness. These are incredibly powerful. They give you 2 additional rerolls if you run 2 per map, and 4 free rerolls. They do stack, even though it doesn't kind of say that they stack based off the wording. It says has no cost the first 2 times. Now, if you run 2 of these, you'd think the first 2 times is still the first 2 times, but actually no, the first 2 times suddenly becomes the first 4 times when you run 2 of these. Very, very powerful. These 2 of these plus profitable prayers, you get 5 rerolls, and 4 of them are free. Insane. We also run 1 ritual scarab of abundance. This basically doubles the amount of favor that you see per screen. So with just 1 of these, those first 4 screens you see are giga juiced, giga free screens that you're looking at. You're going to see so many synth bases. You're going to see so many fractured items that are going to be having high tiers on life rolls and such. We're going to be making bank. It's going to be crazy. Then I splashed harvest. It's insanely cheap. It's like 0.4 chaos for 1 of these bad boys. Yeah, basically free to throw harvest on a map with the scarab. If you want to pay like 7 chaos out of the map device, I think it is. Let's find it. Yeah, it's like 6 chaos, be my guest, or you can pay 0.4 chaos to consume a little bit of your real estate in the map device. I think it's worth it. I think farming life force is incredibly handy, even if you're only juicing it based off the map itself. I know that harvest is one of those mechanics that really gets elevated with the other scarabs that you can use to juice it, but I am just juicing it with the map device, or with the, well, yeah, I guess I'm just juicing it by taking a harvest scarab, which isn't really juicing it, and then obviously taking every node that I can to give more quant and life force. So next, I want to show you guys the atlas. We are taking the top hat, or at least most of it. We do like scaling map modifier effect. Also, we are forcing ritual through taking every available ritual chance node. This is because we're not forcing it on the map device. We are blocking everything except for harvest, ritual, and deli, even though we should be blocking harvest because screw harvest scarabs, they basically never spawn. We're taking red altars. We're taking even the part where the top hat of the red altars that lets extra pack size that was added this league. We're taking shaping the skies. We're taking singular focus for map sustain. We're taking domination and ambush scarabs because they're expensive. We're taking the harvest middle part. I really like scaling map modifier effect when I can take the middle half of the tree, because the middle half of the tree, or the middle part of the tree, this has item quant and item rarity, gets scaled up into the moon. You basically have every map rolling 200 to 250% increased quantity when you roll like mounting modifiers on your atlas, as well as the increased map effect nodes in the top half. So I want to talk us through a basic execution of our maps. After putting in our scarabs, we select quantity and enter the map. I should note that if you still haven't completed a tier 17 and obtained your 5th map slot yet, you should drop the harvest scarab. Harvest is still totally profitable if you have to use the map device to spawn it, but at that point, I gotta be honest, I'd probably run something like strong boxes instead. We want to start off by rushing the map boss, getting him down as quickly as possible. I'm just gonna completely ignore the Lantern of Varamore in this instance. You can interact with it. I've kind of actually just been skipping it. I haven't seen the divine option yet, and that's the only one I'm really interested in seeing at this point. It's profitable, especially if you look out for like the quant and rare ones, but unless I see those, I typically just ignore it. Okay, it's important that, by the way, we see these 2 rituals at the beginning, right? I'm just completely walking past them at the very beginning here, and I'm just rushing straight to the boss. Typically on dunes, the boss is going to be like up and to the right. It's kind of hard to describe. When I say up, what I really should say is in a corner. So in this case, the map clearly hasn't fully loaded in yet. You know, this is PoE 1, work in progress, boys. Kill the map boss, and now we go back into our rituals. Sometimes mobs are they are prone to spawn over here, so I just wanted to check. Let's go do our rituals now. The idea is that we... Sweet, so we find a ritual. The idea is that we clear everything, absolutely everything. Don't click it yet. All the mobs in the area die, and that's good, because... And you can be a little bit quicker than I was if you wanted to, but I like to be as efficient as possible. If you kill absolutely everything, you get the maximum number of mobs dead. Then those mobs will all respawn in the ritual, and every single thing grants tribute. So it's just important to maximize the number of mobs that die in the ritual circle. You don't have to go to extreme lengths like dragging mobs into the ritual circle. I'm not even sure if that works. Like if a mob is too far away, I'm not quite sure they even count as being able to be dragged into the circle. But the mobs that spawn from within the circle, when the circle spawns on the map, right? When the map determines, okay, there's going to be ritual altars on the map, it determines a set number of mobs, like a pack, kind of like the packs that spawn around shrines and strong boxes. So it's going to determine a pack of mobs that are going to spawn near that ritual, and you want to make sure that before you pop that ritual, that you've got that ritual completely cleared. You know, all the mobs that spawn near the ritual are dead. Here's another example, just so we're super clear on everything. Look, I could click it right now, right? Oh, this is a blight. Ha! Sorry. Let's go find a ritual. Come on. Here's one. Okay. So like, I could click it, right? But, you know, I don't know. I do know. I don't know why I say I don't know. I'm min-maxing. Get off me, bro. I'm min-maxing. See, I just want to make sure everything's dead. And now when we clear, we get extra tribute. And every little bit counts, and every little bit adds up. Currently, by the way, I should say, I am actually messing around with arbitrary tenants because I have completed the farm. Okay, I'm done. This is future wired guitars. So I'm testing arbitrary tenants because I'm trying to really push Ritual. I just want to see everything Ritual has to offer this league. So not only did I show you guys the farm that I farmed, I'm also doing some further tests. Maybe I'll upload yet another video on Ritual. But here's the last one. So some mobs spawned. Notice also how they spawned. They spawned kind of like Eldritch minions. I don't know if you noticed that. I think that's an indication of the fact that they're ritual mobs specifically, and that they need to, I shouldn't say need to, but you should absolutely kill mobs that spawn. Mobs that, like, when you come into the area, it looks like they have like a spawn and a short window of invulnerability. Those mobs should absolutely be dead before you click the ritual. 100%. Kill all of them. Let none survive. Alright. And that's all of them. So while this Cassia is loading up, let's check the rewards. We have this attack speed, gain life per hit ring that we've been bouncing around. Like I said, I'm messing around with arbitrary tenants right now, so we got super cheap items. We also have super expensive, crazy items. Quality of strength, socketed gems. I don't know if this is worth anything. It's 6%. There's nothing like this on the market. Is there anything like anything on the market? 60 chaos, who knows? There's a big Cassia. What's going on here? What you got for me, girl? Cassia's pretty cool. I've been doing some Blight this league. It's alright. Blight's kind of like, it's, how do I put it? It's very, I want to be nice. It's very economical. Okay, if you are poor, if you are super poor, you can do Blight and get a lot of, like, rare items, bubblegum currency, just a lot of things that are good for you at that point in the game. But I do not think Blight is a very competitive endgame farming strategy. That's just my opinion. And you know that I'm allowed to have an opinion on things. So let's reroll. This is how you do ritual, okay? Sometimes you just lose, but you gotta hit that reroll button. You gotta see as many screens as possible. And I'm out here, I'm using arbitrary tenants. I'm min-maxing to the extent to which it probably hurts me, because I end up spending a lot of extra time per screen. Chance to intimidate on hit. This is a 10% more damage multiplier. Getting it on your axe is one of those things that does have me question, like, is that a valuable implicit? And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case that there's an axe like that on the market. So what I do in situations like this is I just look up firstly the base type, you know, percent chance, and I look this up on trade. Percent chance to intimidate, and there's just not a lot of redeeming qualities to this weapon over a one-handed item that has a 10C price tag and does the exact same thing. I just can't imagine this is worth anything. So definitely a lot of time spent there. This is where, you know, a lot of people might look at Ritual and say this is a dumb mechanic. Like, you spend all this time looking at bases and stuff. Well, the trick is to get good so you can know at a glance. Oh, look at that. This is half a divine almost. It's pretty cool. So even though and then there's a Ritual Scarab of Selectedness, a little bit of sustain there for you. I am going to click this. Nice, we get a deferment. Cool. And that's a map. Alrighty, I wanted to give you guys a brief profit breakdown. So according to Wealthy Exile, as we see here, we've got a liquidated currency evaluation of about 29 div for everything. That's this entire stash tab. Not minus anything. I took out these items after the evaluation. Now 29 divs across 50 maps may seem pretty bad, but keep in mind, Wealthy Exile only calculates the liquidatable currency, the very immediately price checkable items. It does not account things like synth bases or fractures, and so the farm may originally seem like a pretty low tier 5 div an hour meme strat, but after price checking all of these synth and fracture items, I will briefly scroll over them for you to look at if you want to on your own time. Perfect Chaos Res there, fracture, just for instance, 1474 health, fracture on a chaos basis, 7% mind throwing speed. I think just the items in my inventory alone are like calculated at probably, let's see, I had the calculator out. Oops, right there. So 1855, this was calculated with these boots, so just these boots and then all these items in my inventory. All together, I price checked individually to be their 18.5 div just in these items that I'm pretty sure will move. Keep in mind, of course, if you are a free-to-play player, this will take stash space. And of course, it's going to take time to move these items. I do expect them to move. A person's going to want, like, for instance, this belt. I almost guarantee that. Just the rolls on it alone are pretty sick. But it's also price-checked just for the synth implicit at 40C. All of these items, you have to keep in mind what I was saying earlier. They, even though they're small, the jewelry items, small items don't take up too much space in your inventory space. They do take up inventory space still. It's not liquidatable currency in the same way, like it's not going to fit in a stash tab. And they do take a little bit to move. It's like I can throw these in a tab and somebody will eventually buy it, but it's not going to move immediately. So if you're the kind of person that likes to play, for instance, like for an entire week and then you'll sell on the weekend, and then you'll want to maybe be D&D while the farming sessions are in effect, and then you only want to have your sort of your openness to the player base be during the brief periods of time on the weekends when you're not farming and you're trying to move product very quickly. Perhaps these won't be a great idea for you, because I've found the most effective way to move these items is to just do the, I guess, sort of dubbed terrible way of trading, where you just kind of are farming and then get a trade request and then you respond to it, you stop what you're doing, you go back to your hideout and you trade the item with the player. If you don't like that, if you think that's an inefficient way to play, I completely understand you. This strategy will seem significantly less appealing to you probably as a result of that effect alone, because, keep in mind, these are powerful bases. People will want these. I absolutely promise you that. I mean, just look at this again. I want to stress mind throwing speed 7%. Somebody's going to want to craft. I guarantee a Hexblast miner is going to want to craft on that. Literally tier 1, halfway to perfect, max life, fracture on a chaos res base. Somebody's going to want to craft on that. An int stacker's maybe going to want to craft on this. Get what crimson jewels? Can't you get onslaught? I can't remember if that's viridian or crimson, or maybe no. Actually, those might be the gas jewels. I mean, it might be totally different base type. But either way, somebody's going to want to. Some int stackers want to craft. Going to want to craft on that. These are all valuable items for sure. They're just not currency. So it can be hard for newer players and even tedious for veteran players to evaluate these items the same way as you do like raw currency and scarabs. But if Ritual has shown me anything, it's that to the players that are willing to go through that little bit of a hassle to learn which bases are powerful, to have which certain fractured affixes and which certain synth implicits are really powerful, those players will be rewarded with a treasure trove of divines and incredibly powerful items. So I genuinely recommend Ritual. I do not think it's a meme strat anymore. I don't think it's something that you would go broke and go bust on at League start. I think you could do Ritual all throughout League and have an incredible time doing it. I think this will get you a head start on some of your late game crafting projects if you're trying to take some mana stack, stat stack, or some kind of project type build that needs mirror tier gear with really perfect or good synth implicits. You can get a head start on that stuff with Ritual. I genuinely recommend this as a viable starting farm strategy, and I do not think it's a meme. Wired Guitars, A plus approved. You get the gold star Ritual. Congratulations. That's right. We found this bad boy from Ritual. Perfect crit multi.